So what did you take from running Night House? Because the whole idea of this podcast, this particular episode, is about being in traffic, right? And being in traffic, there are cars that will break down.
Yeah.
There are people who would get off the car and get into a new car. There are cars that are stuck in traffic. There are drivers. There are vehicles. The system is the vehicle. The driver are the people running those systems. And a lot of people need to understand that there is a process to that growth. So what in your journey do you think has helped you the most where you are now? What is that thing that has become sort of second nature, that has now helped you get through your current the current things you're doing now? Yeah.
For me, the most important thing for me is the two most important things. One, you cannot go it alone. Just understanding how to build a team, to work with a team, is one of the biggest things that I took out from that I've taken from, the Night House era into this new Night House era, into what the other things that I'm doing. That's one of the greatest. You can't do it alone. You need people that are as passionate as you are. You understand? Just in case the car breaks down, go come down, push together. You will never be completely stuck. If there are a bunch of, that's one. Two, the second thing is just learning how to block out the noise, learning how to focus on what's important. Is definitely another thing. Removing all the fluff, like Rogba said, from whatever it is that you're looking at, and then just focusing solely on what's important. That's for me.
Yeah. So those two pretty much, and maybe learning how to get the job done. So I meet a lot of people in different areas of life, and you guys get on a project, and some people are doing the project because they want the title. Some people are doing the project because they want the money. Some people are, you understand. But Night House taught me that get the job done first, and then every other thing is secondary. So whatever it is that I do now, my focus is get the job done, and I think, Addendum, it also taught me how to stretch a penny, as in on any project, because, there's that whole thing when we started Night House, and there wasn't, like, we're not, like, rolling in the millions, you get, but we needed to get stuff done. So we're able to think creatively. How do we achieve this? I remember the one particular thing we did for the Street Scriptures promo, where we basically just made t-shirts. We made these family Street Scriptures t-shirts, went around, gave it to all our network, like everybody that we knew in the radio station, on TV and stuff. And so you have people wearing these shirts on TV, on their shows, and like a music show, and then they're playing music videos and all that. And then it's almost snowballed into a t-shirt business. And we only did that because, what's the cheapest way to get some kind of publicity? Knowing that, we already have this network, how do we leverage off it? And people would see the tea and be like, I want one, you have to make one. You understand? So learning that it's not always about the money. It's about being creative with the little you have and making it stretch.
Fantastic. I have one last thing. Between then and now, because PD and I were talking, and we talked about how now that we've introduced paperwork, we're talking about paperwork is not the enemy. Now we've introduced paperwork to artists that have always been recording. All of a sudden, don't want to record again because you've brought in paperwork. But I'm looking at this differently this time. I'm looking at it from working together, artists working together. Do you think that the vibe has changed? Are artists working together more now or less compared to before? And I say this because I remember then, I don't know if there was anybody didn't work with. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like people just hung out, found each other in the studio, and just vibe and worked regardless. Do you think that we have less people working together now, or more? And why do you think so?
Well, I think people are working less.
Less.
Yeah, but I feel paperwork in terms of, you know, publishing rights, royalty share, all of that, that that whole thing has more or less simplified the way people reached agreements when it came to, you know, working together creatively and everything. Before it was just, yeah, let's work together, and then, you know, let's make amazing music. Period. I remember when we were doing the scriptures, it was when we worked with the 40th artist.
It was when the distributor.
Yeah, the distributor was like,
okay, so like, so
oh, fantastic.
Can we get
go and get release forms?
Release forms. I'm like, what?
From 40 artists. That's 40, like 20 labels and.
Do you understand?
20 people's families and lawyers and friends, and I remember that process. That process almost killed the whole thing.
Project, yeah.
It was just, to us, it was just, it just, and that's the thing. Stuff like that kills creativity in one way. It's weird for creatives. I want to just create. I don't really want to worry about, you know, getting cheated or cheating other people. I just want to create music, and I just want to create this, and I just want to focus on the art. And when there's that synergy of us working together, the smallest thing throws it off balance. So you see artists coming together and working, and then you come and say, my manager said that I should, you understand? It just throws everything off. So I feel now there's less people work together just for the
fun of it.
Just for the art, just to create something, you know. More people are working together strategically. You understand? Do you will you give me a different demographic? Will will your numbers help? It's very strategic, and it's not as
it's not organic anymore.
as before, especially when it gets to a certain level in the industry. Once you reach a certain level, where once you get to what I call C list, B list, A list, so it becomes complex.
So I asked that because it seems like a big problem now, and people are like, because I know a lot of artists that have told me that I don't want to discuss paper while I'm recording, and what I usually advise is let the two managers
handle it.
Yeah. And I usually advise people. I know there are situations where you just jam each other in the studio is a rare opportunity. I remember when we recorded Coco Baby for Waje. Diamond Platinum was in town. This is one of the biggest artists in Tanzania, and he's in town. He was in a cool hotel, and I don't even know how I did it. I remember calling Obi. I told Obi, yo, Obi, where you dey? He said, I'm at home. I said, Obi, I beg, I need your SUV. I need the SUV in your house. Obi drove SUV, picked me up. I drove my car. We got to this thing, Echo Hotel. I started asking Diamond Platinum and his manager, what do you guys want to eat? I told him, we had a studio we set up in the hotel because we didn't want to, it was impromptu. At the time I was picking him up, I was calling E. Kelly. E. Kelly, I beg you, go to, it was called Kaliza. Go to that hotel, start setting up. Tell the manager that I said you should give you a room, I'm coming. Do you understand? Sort it out. We drove, got to Daytona, bought drinks. Diamond Platinum said we only drinks champagne. Right, so I had to go and find champagne, then find Ciroc. Then by the time we got to, and I was also delaying him just so that Waje and
could get there,
and Ikeli could get there and start working. Yeah. So I don't know how I did it, but I was just driving them around, showing them Lekki. Then I told them, we need to go and get this. Oh, it's not ready. Sorry, we're gonna wait 10 minutes. We didn't need to wait, but I was just buying time. By the time we finally got to the hotel, to the room, Waja had already started with the "Go baby" chorus,
Yeah.
and I can imagine trying to have a conversation at that point
about
with them
speech
saying,
notes and paperwork.
"Come, this is the paper we need to
kills
sign."
everything.
So one of the ways I feel like we can go around it is, one, you can actually have that conversation between management early and say, look, they're going to start working together. Let's make sure that on our side we are sorting out the paperwork. So that's one option where it's planned.
That's great, but so here's the problem with that. As in, that's a really great option, and I think it's the best way to manage it. I know you have another option, but there's also the problem of, earlier we spoke about managers not understanding what managers' rules are. There's that problem. So some managers are just unreasonable. Like, they're just totally unreasonable. They just come up with the strangest demands just because they feel like they're in a position of they're in a superior position. So, hey, this guy wants to work with my artist, so I can quickly take advantage of this. And do you understand? So
they feel they need to be difficult.
Yes, or they just have to be difficult
for you to value.
Yeah,
Their position.
because the artists are fine. The artists are cool. They're good to go. But the manager now comes and then just becomes
So a way around that,
Yeah.
because I've been in a similar situation where the manager just, I don't know whether he felt I was feeling myself, right, and decided that he wanted to put me,
in your place or something.
wanted to put me in my place or whatever it was. And what I did around that was I called the artist and I said, I don't know what's going on. So you and this artist are good. Here are the terms. Can you message this person and have a word? If the person said it's cool, then two of you as artists have agreed. Our role as manager is to facilitate, right? And that worked out for me. Another way that I do it is, what I've done is we've been in the studio with two artists working, and we were like, Kai, this song is fire. And I just tapped the manager and I was like, let's talk. We went outside. I was like, oh boy, this song is going to be a jam. What do you think? Both of them are working equally. Let's just share it 50-50. Let's just split it down the middle. Even when Waja worked with Lyra, there was a song they did together, and so instead of going through all the details, Waja and Lyra just said, all right, you take all of this, I'll take all of this. Right? So I think it doesn't matter how it is reached, as long as both parties are able to agree. Because what happens is we've had situations where a lot of money has been lost. Yes, you've done it for the craft, but then this craft can pay your bills,
and which is key.
You know what I mean? So a lot of money has been lost because people have refused to just sit down, and the best time to do that is before the song drops. So even after the song is recorded, it's important that, okay, we've recorded the song. Now we've seen who wrote what, who did what. Let's agree. Recognizing leverage. One artist is bigger than the other, so he might ask for more. You're willing to let some things go just so that you can get a piece of the pie. And you keep it moving, and you know that, okay, now we're ready, we're good to go. The song comes out. I know what I'm entitled to. If I have a publishing company handling my business,
I'm fine.
let them go and chase what they're chasing.
I think paperwork is key, as in any business. I mean, doing anything, sign something. Because when you don't, you'll find out way down the line that you should have.
And it's harder. It's harder to get
once it's hard to put the genie back in the bottle. It's out. It's out. You know. So yes, paperwork is great, but I think there needs to be an orientation so that people really understand what publishing is all about, what the paper. You understand? Because I don't think a lot of people know what it is. They just know that I just need to sign something and get money, right? And I need to wrangle the biggest piece of that thing for myself as possible. You understand? And if this other person is not willing to, compromise or bend to my will,
then it's not happening.
Screw it. I'd rather not do the song. And a lot is lost. You get, there's so much that may have opened, so many doors it could have opened down the line. There's so much opportunities and all that's just thrown out of the window.
So I think at the end of the day, the real issue is information. People are not educated enough to know how to actually help. But then there's ego.
No, that one is.
But I think ego is a product of fear, and fear is a product of a lack of information.
Yeah,
so it comes back to the same thing. And I think for me, I really wanted to have this conversation. I personally think people need to know Night House story, and obviously this is me even telling you guys to tell your story, because this podcast can't tell the whole Night House story. And I feel like if more people had an idea about the people who put in work at a particular time to develop some of your favorite artists you see now, or that were part of the process of developing these artists, I feel like people would realize that it's steps. There are steps to this. They would appreciate that process they are going through as well. And I feel like I wanted to have you guys in for that purpose. And thank you guys for making out time. I know Larry is here in the spirit.
Yes.
Larry is here in the spirit, and you know he couldn't make it to the session, but I just feel like we should give people their roses while they're still here, and I'm using this opportunity to appreciate you guys for what you guys did for me as an individual and what you've done for the industry. Thank you.
No, man.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
That's very key. Thank you for having us.
God bless you guys.
I for this last thing, I am actually proud of how far you've taken this and the decision. I know you made a lot of difficult decisions along the way. You understand? And as far as Godwin Tom is concerned, is either Godwin is a horrible person or Godwin is like
he's an amazing
greatest,
person.
you know, and he oscillates. I
never really heard anybody give a middle of the
yeah, it's never a middle. It's either you're doing the greatest thing or why is Godwin doing this? But all in all, man, you're one of the very few people that was able to take that thing, that was able to prove me right. Let me just put it that way. Like, this guy has something. This guy is watch out for this guy, and you know
he's gonna do something.
Yeah, and
big.
you did it. So yeah.
My head, yo. Thank you guys so much. God bless you guys. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.